Hello, it's Crafty Carol here from Northern Ireland with another little project for you. And as you know, this week I've fallen in love completely with the Hearts and Hugs cling stamp set, which has got these gorgeous cute animals and lovely hearts and beautiful sentiments about sending hugs. It also comes with a range of dies that cut out all of the images again, but we've also got lots of flowers, more hearts, little grass clump that we can put flowers on the top, as you saw, and a little banner for the words that cuts out. So gorgeous set, and I wanted to show you a card this week, actually yesterday, as you were watching the video. I have to think when I'm doing the video. We had our team meeting and we each have to design a card for the others to make, and we prepare most of the stuff, so it's not very hard to do. But this is the card I made, sending a big hug, so it's there when you need it, using the lovely badges from the set, and a little insert in there as well. So I thought I'd make a similar one and just show you how I put this front together. And we will do the middle and everything as well, but hey. So I've already prepared a lot of the stuff because you don't need to see me colouring lots. So I've got my card base and I've got my envelope ready. I haven't stamped the envelope or the inside yet, so I am going to do that. And I think I'll probably use the little mouse this time. Let's use him. Will he fit on that stamp book? Yes, he will. So we'll use the little mouse in there. Let me do that first. I'll decorate the envelope first. And then we've got that done, the envelope and the inside. Gorgeous little mouse, so cute with the heart. So we'll have him in there, and we'll also have him in the middle of the card itself and the inside. I haven't decided. I think I probably won't put any sort of sentiment inside the card, because when it's a sending hugs, you sort of need to know a little bit more about what you're sending it for. So yeah, I think we'll leave it like that. I will use, however, I might use these as I've got them out. No, let's have a look. Let's see if I can get my grey granite out. I think we'll have grey granite for the mouse, shall we? Yeah, let's have a grey granite map. Oh, I need a red. I need a nice red, which is the easiest red I can grab. Oh, it's Poppy Parade. That'll do for the heart that he's holding, because obviously he needs to look lovely there. Probably put some pink. Oh, my grey granite's running out. All my blends are running out, probably because I use them so much. Luckily the other end still works. That's great. I think that'll do. I'm not going to do too much shading on here, just a little bit, just to put a little bit of stuff, a little bit of dimension on this. Not going to fiddle around too much. You don't need to see me do that, but there's my mice for the inside of the card. Right, so normal card base, 21 by 14.8, scored at 10.5, or 8.5 inches by 5.5 inches, scored at 4.25. And then our first layer, 10 by 14.3, or 4 inches by 5.25 inches. And I have already embossed this, and I've used the gorgeous Dotted Circles embossing folder, which I just love. I love these new embossing folders. They're also nice and big. I've placed the cards so that the main circle is in the middle, and of course you could use just a nice circular die to cut out that and put the image you want in the middle. But I've actually used, for these, because I think it fits the badges better, I've used these Nesting Essential dies, and I've used the biggest rectangle there, which just fits it rather nicely. So I'm going to pop this together. So first of all, I've cut a little strip of the DSP. This is the new In Colour DSP. 2 patterns, but I'm going to use the dotty pattern to match my dotted circles, and I'm going to just stick this right across the middle of the card. Now this is quite a deep embossing folder, so if I can find it, tear and tape is going to be a better option than liquid glue. So I'm going to use some tear and tape to fit this down, and I need the tear and tape anyway because I'm going to put a little bit of ribbon around it too. So a little bit of tear and tape there, and then we'll have tear and tape. Need quite a long bit because I'm going to go and put the ribbon across. So luckily there's dots, so it can help you line it up. So we'll make sure it's straightish. Oh, if it sticks down. Let's try that again. So I stuck it down across the dots, and I'm going to wrap these bits around the back, and I've cut long bits because I want this to, it's going to overlap too much, tear that bit off. I want this to, stick it on there actually, I want this to hold the ribbon and help stick it down onto my card. So I'm going to use the Pretty in Pink ribbon because it matches my Pretty in Pink, oh, a little bit of ribbon there, matches my Pretty in Pink DSP there. So I just need to cut a bit using my ribbon scissors. Always use ribbon scissors for ribbon. I keep a pair of scissors, a pair of snips just to use for ribbon. And I just want it long enough to wrap around this. So I'm going to wrap it around just the card. You could wrap it around this bit as well, but because I've put the tape on here, it's a lot easier just to wrap it around here. So I'm going to take that off from one side, start my ribbon there, bring it across and wrap it down. I'm going to put this, well, I can't really put it down because I've got tape on it, so just be careful with that, because I've put the longer bit of tape on. So it holds the ribbon and it's going to give me something to stick to the card. So I've stuck my ribbon round, and then I can take my bits of tape off and stick this to my card base, my layer. Not to the base yet, we're going to stick it on the base in a minute. Stick it on the layer here. So I'm going to stick it roughly over where so I'm covering up my centre circle, but it just gives me a marker then. So I was quite careful where I placed this piece in the embossing folder, because I did want it to actually have that centre just above the middle of the card. As you can see, I've got, what, 3.5 here and 2.5 there, which is about right. So make sure that's stuck down because it's difficult, and then we can stick the whole thing down to the front of the card. I'm just going to hold it down a bit again because it's an embossed piece. Just needs a little bit more care when you're sticking things to it or sticking it to anything else. So there is our card base prepared. I've already stamped this and cut it out with the Nesting Essentials dies. So I'm going to have that on the front here, and I'm going to stamp the sentiments. So I'm going to have the same sentiments as I put on the other card. So sending a big hug, so it's there when you need it. And I just cut, this strip is 1 centimetre by whatever length of stuff I had, which is going to be long enough for these two. So just need to line it up nicely. So it's there when you need it. Can we go there? And sending a big hug. Oh, that's sending birthday hugs. That's not the one I wanted. Sending a big hug, that's the one. There. So I've got room to do another one on there. That's fine. So, put the ink pad away before I lean in it. Not good. Lost my scissors. I definitely had a pair of scissors here. Where on earth have they gone? Honestly, I could get my other scissors out. Right, we'll use these. I'm just going to snip these. You can use your trimmer if you want to make sure it's absolutely straight. I'm happy with those. I'm just going to trim that one down a little bit so it's closer to the word. Might trim this one a little bit too. And I'm not angling these, I'm just cutting these straight because they're only narrow little bits. I don't want to faff around with them too much and take away from this. And because the edges of this are straight, it fits with these. So all that remains for me to do is to stick all of these on using some dimensionals. So to finish the card, I'm going to take off these dimensionals, pop that in the middle on the front. So I can use my dots as the pattern to make sure it's in the middle where I want it. Yeah. And then I'm going to put my sentiment strips above and below. So sending a big hug. so it's there when you need it. I probably should have used mini dimensionals because I can just see that dimensional, but I don't think it's too bad. So there, my little mouse holding his heart is my decoration for that. So that is my one I've just done today, and that's using just a plain base, the plain white base. For this one I made it a little bit more complicated because I've used the nice new peach pie base, which means I needed an insert, so I've just stamped and coloured the insert on that rather than the card itself. So those are my two cards. I hope you like them. I think it's such a lovely set, and as it happens, it is one of the sets in the new catalogues. I just think it's gorgeous. I made some cards in the live on Tuesday, so have a look at those if you like the idea of those. And I also had some very bad news today, which is that a friend of mine has had a stroke, which isn't nice. So luckily she is getting better, but I want to make her a card. So I thought I'll make a similar card to the one I've just done, because obviously I need to send her a lovely card. So I'm going to use the same sentiments on the front, the sending a big hug. A bit low, I can trim that though. And so it's there when you need it. But I am going to use different sentiments for inside the card. And I'm going to make it as well slightly different because we don't want to see things the same. I've actually using for inside the card, I'm going to use this retired set because it's got everything I wanted to say, which is sending you healing vibes, wishing you a quick and complete recovery. So I'm going to use those inside the card. These I get from, it's a little Bassand eraser, get them from Amazon. And it's very good for when you've got a little bit of ink on something you don't want it to be, and you can actually just rub it off. Works beautifully. You've just got to be very patient. Don't try and rub hard, just be patient. And as you can see, it gets rid of just about all of it. There we are. I've rushed through that because you didn't need to see me colouring those again. But let me put the rest of the card together. So I'm doing this one in a slightly different way. And I haven't actually done my stamping yet, but let me just get my badges out again, I think, or shall I? Might actually use, yeah, I might actually use my little bear because he's rather sweet. So, oh no, do you know what? I want to use the badges. I'm going to use the badges again. So I've got a separate piece of card here because I want to cut them out and put them on top. I'm giving this card to, I don't need to send it, so I don't need to worry about layers and how big the, you know, the envelope is, how wide it is, so that I don't need to worry about postage costs. So again, quickly I'm going to colour the badger and rush through that so you don't need to see me do it again. Okay, so I've coloured my badgers, and you've seen me colour before, but I've just coloured the bigger badger, if you like, the man badger, I don't know. I don't know what, Brock? Is a badger a Brock? Oh, I can't remember. Anyway, I've coloured him twice in the light, just to give him a little bit of a darker hue, just like I did in this one, because I just think it shows him off a little bit more. I haven't used quite as much shading in this one as I did in the other. It's up to you what you do. So I'm going to use the die to cut that out so that I can stick it on top using dimensionals. So I'll just go and do that and I'll be back in a minute. So here's my badges cut out. So I'm just going to put the card together now. So I've got my sending healing hugs. I just need to trim, still haven't found the other scissors. Just need to trim these. So this time I've done the card a bit differently. I've just used the So Swirly embossing folder to emboss the bottom half of my layer. So I'm going to stick that, no I'm not, I'm going to stick my piece of DSP, which I'm going to have across the top this time. I'm going to stick this directly onto that layer. And because I haven't embossed the top bit, I can use Tombow quite happily for that. Line it up with my edge. And I'm going to use my ribbon as a bit of a break up there. I've used this one. I probably should have used the pink. Should I swap? No, I'm going to keep it like that. I've got two pieces. I think I'll use, yeah, I've used this piece because I'm going to just do a knot in it rather than a bow. So I'm going to use some tear and tape again. But this time I'm not going to put it across the whole of the front because I want to leave a little gap to put the bow in. So we'll put that bit round there. Leave a gap. Actually, I can just stick the bit in actually. Okay, so I'm going to take those off and stick my bit for my knot in there before I stick the other bit on top. Then it doesn't actually matter about having a gap. Don't know why I needed a gap. There we go. Then I can stick this to the front. I'm going to just use Tombow again for speed. Oh, and I should have said, this piece of DSP, this is the same width as the layer, which is 10, and I've just cut it at around 5 centimetres, 4.5, 5 centimetres. So I'm going to tie just a knot here. There we go. And then use my snips to just trim those down at an angle. It'll stay stuck where I want it. Then I am going to, I can stick this on with dimensionals, as I say, because I'm actually giving this card by hand. And then just to finish off this card, as I said on these lovely dies, we have these gorgeous heart sets. So I'm just going to cut some of these in pretty in pink, and I'm just going to add those to the bottom here. So as you can see, I cut out 3 lots, which gives me 6 hearts. I don't need one, so I'll put it back in my set because I like to use, as you know, odd embellishments. I think they look nicer. So I'm just going to put a little dab of glue on the back of each of these, and then we'll scatter them around the card and see where they go best. Not too big a dab. Too much on that one. There we go. And I'm just going to use my tweezers, I think, to try and pick these up, because they're a little bit delicate. So I think we'll have 3 in a little cluster down here. And the other 2, ooh, got that on my finger now, glue on my finger. 1 here, and the final one just over here, I think, or I might just put it up there. There we go. Yeah, I think we'll have it there. That looks good. So here is my card for my wonderful friend, who I'm so sorry that she's had a stroke. She is recovering, but yeah. So I've got a little present for her, and that will be the card to go with her. So you've got a little bit of a bonus, because I've given you, this was the card I was going to do, and then I thought I'm going to make an extra one as well. So I hope you enjoyed those cards. Please do subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and all of the instructions and the measurements will be on the blog at craftycarolscards.co.uk, and I will see you again soon. Thank you for joining me today. Bye for now.